Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for joining on this Sunday, later afternoon fixture of Matchday 11 on the 2025-2026 Dritte Liga season. A special treat awaits us at the Grünwalder Stadion, hosting a clash between the two founding members of the Bundesliga, 1860 Munich and MSV Duisburg. While the Lions hope to turn things around under their new coach Markus Kauzinski, it's the Zebras who aim to continue on their impressive run. They are undefeated so far and have been impressive all throughout the 2025-2026 campaign. The starting 11 for 1860 Munich new manager Markus Kauzinski has made 5 changes. He goes for Thomas Dana, who comes in goal, Schifferl, as well as in the 4-2-3-1 lineup. He's opted for Volland, who's come back in, and leading the attack will be Sigurd Haugen, as well as the experience of Niederlechner. Before the international break, 1860 Munich had only picked up 1 point from their last 5 matches, and their confidence has been at a rock bottom recently. But now the motto is new coach and new hope. They'll rely on their new manager to breathe new life. Dieter Hirsch has kept most of the same lineup, except for Simala, who's brought Nosh onto the bench. It's a 4-2-3-1 with Connor Viet, with Simala, Viet, Susek, and Topkin leading the offensive. Peter Fleckstein Hahn, who is in the starting 11, the captain, who is expecting a new baby, was doubtful. He will be starting and fielded this afternoon. And now the 22 players are making their way out onto the pitch. Such an important game. Iconic teams that are facing each other. And with a bit of history, MSV Duisburg and 1860 Munich have faced off against each other 60 times throughout time. The last time they met was at the 2023-2024 campaign, the Dritte Liga, ended in a 4-1 victory here at the Grünwalder. Goals scored by Schifferl as well as Yunin Gutau. And overall, it's 1860 Munich who dominate, historically speaking, in terms of the results. They have 30 wins. Duisburg only have 16 and 14 draws. Lovely conditions to play. As we can see, the supporters of 1860 Munich always going to be pushing their side on to perform. Referee Martin Wilke, he'll be assisted by Matthias Hellig and Mika Forster. See both captains, Thor Jakobsen and Alexander Hahn, shaking hands before we get started. MSV Duisburg wearing their darker kits, 1860 Munich wearing their lighter ones. MSV Duisburg were promoted from the Regional Liga this season, yet their start has been anything but ordinary. They've gone beyond all predictions, and perhaps even their own expectations. They've scored 22 goals in 10 matches. They had an excellent record in the opening 6, winning their first 6, and are still undefeated. However, they have to be careful as Energy Cottbus are on their heels with just 24 points in these first 10 matches. Energy Cottbus have sprung up to 23. They are on the hunt. Duisburg have not won. They've just won once in their last 4. But nonetheless, they should be high on confidence. Their last defeat was 8 months ago to Oberhausen. They have a fantastic record away from home as well. The best in the Dritte Liga. 11 points in their 5 matches. 1860 Munich at home aren't so bad either. In their 5 matches, they've won twice. The most recent victory was against Havelse, which was unforgettable thanks to that late goal by Hopsch. And it's the Lions who are attacking first, from right to left. For Niederlechner, former Bundesliga stalwart, stating his intentions very clearly. Alexander Hahn, the Russian-born German center-back who's wearing the captain's armband for Duisburg and has been all season long, making his 11th appearance. As I said earlier, he was a doubt, given that he is expecting a new baby, but surely fans of the Zebras be happy to see him on the pitch. Good pressure from the home side as they've recovered possession in enemy territory. See Schifferl on the ball there. Lunged forward without much direction, but high-paced football in the opening minute and a half. And yes, the camera pans on Markus Kausinski, the new manager of 1860 Munich, former Wien Wiesbaden's coach between 2021 and 2024. Lifted the side to the Zweite Bundesliga from the 3rd division. Was successful in doing that. However, was relieved of his duties in April 2024 when relegation from the second flight was looming. He joins, takes over 1860 Munich while they sit currently in 15th place, and what a task to take on the side in first. Could be a defining moment if they are to push for promotion. 1860 Munich, as what was expected going into this campaign, anything but a win would be a disappointment today, regardless of the place of the table of their opponents. Braune. Far and at the center and aiming for Thilo Topkin. Denise. It's dispatched to Haugen. Good give and go between him and Marvin Rittmüller. Rittmüller's cross sails above everyone. Seems as if Sigurd Haugen was unmarked and perhaps forgotten. A lot of the attention was drawn onto Kevin Volland. Not the tallest player on the pitch, but Kevin Volland is a threat whenever he is inside the box. It's good to see him back. He missed out on the last match against Wien Wiesbaden with an injury. Number 31, who has returned to his home side club. Supporters German football, I've seen him wearing the Nationalmannschaft kit 15 times. Camera panned on to Dietmar Hirsch, manager of MSV Duisburg, who's done such a good job keeping his side focused and consistent in league play. As I said, they've not lost in any league match in the last 8 months. They have stunned more teams than one in the Dritte Liga. Good impact there. Topkin going down to box, but strong challenge from Rittmüller. New signing who joined at the very end of the summer transfer window. Likes to go forward. A little bit too casual from Thor Jakobsen, and Tunay Denise intervening. Very familiar smoke coming out from the Ultras side of the 1860 Munich supporters. Nothing quite like the atmosphere at the stadium. It's a bit old school, tight stands, the chants are echoing. The crowd, it's as if they are just on top of the pitch. When a goal is scored, there's nothing quite like the roar from the Lions supporters. And in the opening 5 minutes, there hasn't been a shot on goal just yet, but maybe Tunay Denise's throw could land in a dangerous area and serve one of his teammates. It's played to the edge of the 6-yard box. Patrick Susek makes no mistake sending it upfield. We'll have a second bite of the apple. Tunai Denise. Player who's so reliable last season. He's one of those who collected the most amount of minutes played. Scored 6 goals and 6 assists in their Vita Liga campaign. Long throw in. Schifferl tries to help it on. But defending well. MSV Duisburg. The ball bounces out of play for a goal kick. Well handled. And Alexander Hahn is pushed and his challenge for the ball. It will actually be a free kick. Hasn't had much to do, the referee so far, Martin Wilk. Hasn't brandished any cards or called for any fouls for malicious behavior. Been a clean match. Just Duisburg seem to be pinned into their own half. 1860 Munich are doing well to settle in, but just lacking a chance to get under their teeth. Be careful now, because now they're on the back foot. Simala stirring forward, teasing ball, but attentive was Rittmuller. Patrick Susek, who started off with being an impact player this season, has 5 goals and 4 assists. Was sniffing out for his 6th. Trend we've noticed in the Dritte Liga is a long throw in, and Joshua Bitter takes no exception to that. He's also able to lunge a throw in, and unfortunately for the visitors, the ball sails out of bounds. Oh, quick play! And now going into goal, seemed like before Martin Wilk blew his whistle, it was Sigurd Haugen. Seemed like he was clear, but a collision between a Duisburg and for Niederlechner resulted in the play being called back. Sibala, Niederlechner. Yeah, it seems like it was a foul. The experienced number 7 for 1860 Munich. For Niederlechner, who had nearly over 400 pro appearances. Returned to his home side club, as well as Kevin Volland in the summertime. Signed a 2-year deal. A striker with proven pedigree and almost scored an equalizer against Wien Wiesbaden on match day 10 in the final minutes. Shot smacked off the post, and will surely be a creative outlet this afternoon as well for the 1860 Lions. Maximilian Brauner his target is found, and thanks to that important win by Tubenio, able to play forward. Duisburg, a good understanding, and it was read by Schifferl. Great use of the body fake in the midfield by Christian Viet. He's going to drive into the box. Schifferl's going to go to ground, and that's a second good defensive intervention in less than a minute for Raphael Schifferl, who makes his 2nd start of the season. The Austrian defender. Simala's header glances wide, but did well to spring himself up into the air and win his duel at the back post. Still 0-0 here at the Grunwalder Stadion. Supporters for both sides are contributing to this exceptional atmosphere. These are 2 clubs that were founded within 3 years apart of each other. 1860 Munich came to life in 1899, while MSV Duisburg did so in 1902. When the Bundesliga was established in 1963, and it was both of these sides that were founding members. 1860 Munich were to even win their title in 1966. Which was one of their golden eras in the 60s. Seems as if the fullback, Kantroskun, is feeling a little bit of pain in his hand. Very high pressing from 1860 Munich. They're forcing for play to begin from Maximilian Braun's long balls. When the Zebras are able to connect with a header, it does result in a chance being created fairly quickly, but if not, it's mostly the Lions that are able to recover possession and build from their own half. And under Marcus Kauzinski, the opening 10 minutes have been quite a pleasant brand of football. Just lacking an end product so far. Good give and go, and driving onto the midfield is for Jakobsen. Kevin Volland, no look pass. That was spectacular. Went between the legs in search of Clemens Littmann. Fortunately, Rasim Bulic, for his teammates, was there to extinguish the danger. Deafening the supporters in the home end. Where it is important to note that the away section of MSV Duisburg is also packed out. 15,000 capacity stadium, it's full to the brim. Denise plays it short, gets it back. Sent to the second post, a lofted cross. Not the most conventional clearance by MSV Duisburg, but they get the job done. Concede another corner kick. On looking at the replay, you'll notice 2 or 3 players of Duisburg go in for it. It's a collision. Fleckstein and Tubenyo. Back on his feet is Tobias Fleckstein, who scored on match day 10. It's Hansa Rostock. Thought it could have been the winner. It wasn't for Cedric Harenbach. It's taken low. Niederlechner makes a mess of it, but Marvin Rittmuller on the follow-up helps it back to Denise. From a technical standpoint, they got it all wrong there. And then on the challenge, Denise is late. And he'll pick up the first yellow card of the match. His stud made contact with the heel of Patrick Susek, trying to plead his own case, but Martin Wilke had no time for that. It's the 5th yellow card of the season for Tunay Denise. Quite a few bookings. It's consistent with his style of play. That foul offers a little bit of oxygen for Duisburg to resettle, but again, a high press of 1860 Munich makes life very uncomfortable for the visiting side. And they give away the ball again. Volland's pass is perfectly dosed into the run of Niederlechner, who courageously charged onto that left wing, but stopped before he could send in delivery. Tunay Denise will take the honors, sending in this throw. Players like Denise, Moustier, Joshua Bitter, so capable of creating chances from throwing situations. He's gonna get it back, Denise. Not sure what he was going for there, but between the last 2 corners and this throw in, these are wasted opportunities for the home side, who can't afford to really take their opponents too lightly. They are sitting on 12 points, well, provisionally 13. if they're able to hold on to this scoreline, but are sitting in 15th place. And MSV Duisburg are dangerous until the very end. They're undefeated. Have a habit of scoring late. And even coming from behind. Memory points to their victory over BeReal when they went down 2-0 away from home. One in the added time thanks to a goal by Connor Nosh, who's on the bench. Tugbenyo wins the ball back cleverly. The pass to Sushek put him into a very tricky situation. He was closed down by two Lions, and they escape with possession and recover well. Niederlechner's pass. Not the right dosing. And although they look solid defensively, MSV Duisburg, they haven't been able to express themselves creatively going forward. Struggling with that very high press put in place by Marcus Kauzinski's men. Before the match, I looked into Marcus Kauzinski's personal record as a manager against Duisburg. He faced them 11 times, of course with different clubs. Managed Karlsruhe, Wiesbaden, as well as Dynamo Dresden. He lost his last 3 against the Zebras, but his last win was during his days with Dynamo Dresden. Rittmuller searching for the other fullback. Littman got to it first, but Joshua Bitter commits a foul. Late to the challenge, Joshua Bitter, who's made 151 appearances from MSV Duisburg. For a fullback, is a player who has as many goal involvements as Can Oskun, but all assists. Can Oskun has 2 goals and 1 assist. Interesting pass from Littman. A good read by Fleckstein and Alexander Hahn. They have formed a bit of an Iron Curtain defense. They've only conceded 9 goals in the opening 11 matches so far. Alexander Hahn and Tobias Fleckstein, while also contributing offensively, is Rasim Bulic. Great challenge from Schifferl. Can they transition to offense quickly? Kevin Volland, left-footed cross. May have stung the gloves of Maximilian Brauner as he caught it in 2 attempts, but doesn't challenge a 22-year-old goalkeeper enough. So it's that offensive trident, Florian Niederlechner, Sigurd Haugen, and Kevin Volland that will be tasked with breaking down this defense of Duisburg. And finally, about after 20 minutes, 1860 Munich have stopped that high press, and they're inviting MSV Duisburg to play out from the back, giving some time and space for the defenders to pick their passes calmly. Good movement there as Can Oskun drifts into the center of the pitch. The energetic left back, and look at that run. He's found perfectly in the space. Low cross. Schifferle took no risk, went to ground before his goalkeeper Thomas Dana could have intervened. So the first sign of creativity comes courtesy of Can Oskun, the Turkish fullback. Will we see him involved later on again? Surely. He is a defender that loves to get involved in the attacking plays. Great challenge for Niederlechner, who wins possession back, and the supporters love that. As much as they did that pass from Rittmuller back to Dana. But the Zebras starting to position themselves high up and bother the home side. It works out well because Simala was found, but Simon Voigt made the challenge on time. The former Slovan Bratislava player who gained experience in the Champions League, competing against AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, Dinamo Zagreb. Bitter misses everyone. And it's launched far, and Niederlechner gets there first. All the experience of the player, but unable to hold on to it. Unfortunately, wasn't able to hold off the incoming Racing Bulic. He's had quite a few involvements in the opening 20 minutes for Niederlechner, but for a player of his standards, isn't exactly delivering the goods just yet. Duisburg are now in possession. Dana collects the ball safely into his gloves. But that's a silly pass, and it's given away. Bitter passed it into Benyo. It's all a little bit scrappy now in the middle of the pitch, and Fleckstein, with that good awareness and maturity, plays it back to his goalkeeper. Affords for the Zebras to reset. Alexander Hahn. Josku. The energy levels have slightly gone down in 1860 Munich due to not pressing high anymore, are affording to play with fire a little bit more. Duisburg's center backs are able to pick their passes with a little bit more time. That was a shot we saw from Patrick Susek earlier on. His volleyed effort boxed away by Thomas Dana. First real shot on target for the Zebras, who are inching closer and closer to perhaps opening the scoring away from home. As I mentioned earlier, they have to be careful. Energy Cottbus picked up an all-important victory at the death yesterday. And there was only 1 point separating them before kickoff today. Bitter opting to throw it back to his defender, Fleckstein. Hahn. Brauna so far off his line. He's a player that likes to play and take risks. Against Verle, was actually caught off for the second goal that they conceded, but he is excellent on his line and with his feet. This season he has 9 clean sheets, well 3 clean sheets, excuse me, and only 9 goals conceded. Look at the way where he's positioned there. Always available, ready to receive a pass. He may now. He does. Tilo Topkin, that was naive attacking. The referee was going to call for a whistle. Was going to blow his whistle every day of the week. That little nudge behind the back, especially for a midfielder with the experience of Thor Jakobsen. Not too many spaces for the attackers to bite into in this match for either side. It's been good defensive as well as midfield contributions in the defensive sectors for both sides. But it doesn't mean the match is not entertaining. But it is missing out in chances created. Have a layoff there. Niederlechner is brought down by Benyo before he could spin away and face the goal. Sean Dulic. Schifferle has been so so far. He's made crunching challenges, very well timed ones, going to ground as well in his own box. His confidence is rising. He may benefit from extra playing time from Marcus Kauzinski. It's promising given that he's already starting the new manager's debut match. Simala. Seems like there was a little bit of an impediment in the upper body there, but Martin Wilke didn't blow his whistle and play carries on. Dulich. Riedmüller's searching ball does find, well, it wasn't an attempt to find Florian Niederlechner, but his pace let him down there. What he does have in experience, perhaps he has lost a little bit in acceleration and velocity. Florian Niederlechner. Those driving runs in between the center back and the fullback could be something that was worked on the training ground and can exploit a weakness or a potential weakness in the visiting side. One-touch pass from Riedmüller, expertly controlled by Kevin Volland, who sets up his teammate Littmann to go forward. Haugen, Denise. 1860 Munich have to make the most of it here. Kevin Volland's initial touch was so good. The cross, the in-swinger. It's a shame, he sails out, and again, danger is extinguished, but only through imprecisions in 1860 Munich's forward play. Munich, who started this new season with a lot of ambitions, have only picked up 1 point from their last 5 matches. That defeat to Wien Wiesbaden was under their interim coach Alper Kajabunar. Now under Marcus Kauzinski. A hope for a term that is completely different from that one who started the season. Simala, low cross. I believe it was Vogt who made the decisive play there. But Simala, the winger on 2 goals and 4 assists, was stirring. And in front of their set of supporters, MSV Duisburg have a corner kick on the right side. Christian Yet measuring his teammates, deciding where he will place this ball. The precision of a number 10. And before it could even amount to anything, Martin Wilke saw a foul and puts an end to that play. Disappointing for Duisburg. Unable to capitalize on that fine work by Jan Simon Simala in winning the set piece. Still 0-0 at the Grünwalder Stadion. Denise. It's poked away. Possession remains with the home side. Grünwalder Stadion, 1860 Munich have had some mixed results. Their 5 appearances so far this season, 2 victories. The most recent one was unforgettable against TSV Havelse. They were down 2-1 at one point and then 1 to Patrick Hobbs. It's Patrick Susek now, a different Patrick who's on the ground. He was on the wrong end of a challenge with Tunay Deniz earlier on, which was the only booked offense so far in this match, but it seems that he is suffering from pain or a knock that's unrelated to that challenge. Japan on Marcus Kauzinski, native of the Gelsenkirchen region. Began coaching at Schalke 04, then spent many years at Karlsruhe. Even won the Dritte Liga championship and secured promotion to the Zweite Bundesliga. Almost did secure promotion to the Bundesliga actually in 2014-2015. It was the year 2015 that he was voted Coach of the Year. Long ball from Hahn. Had to be inch perfect. It wasn't. Vogt was perfectly positioned to handle it. Defender of his caliber. Wouldn't struggle with dealing from the long ball behind the back. To say both sets of defenses have been excellent in handling the spaces in behind their own back. Littmann. He got away, but Bitter, assisted by his teammates, is able to clear it. Simala trucking forward. He was brought down illegally just before he could turn on the jets. The tempo of this match has been relatively inconsistent. Periods of play where one side takes control and then allows for the next. Well, then almost invites their opponent to have their moment. Topkin. Susek, will he win a corner at least? Seems like that was one of the better case scenarios, but Schäferle, consistent with how he's been playing so far in this first half, was there, strong again in the second duel. It's a 50-50 challenge between Duisburg player Bulic and Niederlechner. Bulic perhaps made more contact with the ball, but got a lot of Niederlechner. It's Kevin Volland who's insisting on the fact that there should be card brandish for that challenge. Martin Wilke doesn't seem to be convinced, and said Florian Niederlechner will receive some medical care. While the rest of the players can have a little bit of a breather. They won't stop until at least the halftime whistle, where they'll return to their chanting ways for the second half as well. Niederlechner slowly, perhaps getting back to his feet, but taking his time. It's a very violent knock. Helped back on by the medical staff. Just above the knee as he's signaling. The player who developed his skills at the academy is a lion at heart. The player who's also discovered the highest level. Beyond discovered the highest level, thrived at the highest level. Helped Hertha Berlin maintain their status. Played in Bundesliga 197 times, scored 45 goals, the top flight of German football. He's back for this season and at least the next. Long ball searching for Haugen. Moves out on his duel with Fleckstein. A little bit over-emphatic defending from MSV Duisburg, and Martin Wilke calls play to come back to an initial foul. Play had carried on, but advantage was left only temporarily. It's a bit of a slower pace in this game so far. Match day 11 of the Dritte Liga. You can see the tension. Both sides not exactly keen on losing, but one has to at least go for the win. Denise's cross misses everyone, and would have been very embarrassing for that ball to cross the line. Maximilian Braune assured he wouldn't have a blooper reel moment. I'd like to see a little bit more from Kevin Volland. In the few instances where he's been involved in the build-up play, he has showcased that he is the creative spark, the midfield talisman of this side. Maybe he's lacking a little bit of match fitness. Did pick up a red card against CSV Verse earlier on in the season. Missed out on match day 10. 1860 Munich did have a lot of time to prepare for this match, nonetheless. Focused solely on this one. While MSV Duisburg had to play a State Cup match. Christian Viet wins a corner kick. MSV Duisburg did have to win, well, play a State Cup match, which they did win 3-1 the midweek. A game where the PA system had a bit of a dysfunction. Halftime actually came before the 45th minute. Christian Viet. His outswinging cross unsuccessfully dealt with, and now counter-attack. Interesting situation. They have numbers going forward. Sigurd Haugen, he has an avenue to drive into. He goes to ground, wins a free kick. And Martin Wilke was on the case immediately to brandish a yellow card. Shusek, who sacrificed himself there, because if Sigurd Haugen would have gone onto his left foot, you know he would have gone for goal after. Nonetheless, the free kick is in a dangerous area. A little bit over 20 meters from the goal. Slightly to the left, a perfect angle for the right-footed player. And Dietmar Hirsch taking notes there. Very old school for managers to handwrite their own notes. I remember seeing that from Rafael Benitez, Jose Mourinho as well. Big partisan of that methodology. Now you can add Dietmar Hirsch. So the line has been drawn for the wall. It's supposed to be 10 yards away. So they're firmly into the box. It's a shame that Maximum Wolfram isn't on the pitch. He can shoot a free kick like not many can. Will it be Denise with his right foot? Denise is on target, and Braune flies into the air to stop it. Corner. The supporters enjoy that moment, but would have preferred to see the ball rattle the back of the net. Went for power. Did an attempt to go over the wall, instead chose the goalkeeper's side. In-swinger from Kevin Volland. 5 minutes left to go in this first half. And they've injected some electricity into the game, the home side. Denise helped on, and it's in the back of the net, finally! 1860 Munich go up 1-0, courtesy of Sigurd Haugen. An eruption of joy at the Grunwalder Stadion, and it comes via the set piece. And And as I was saying, I wanted to see Kevin Holland be more involved. And that seems to have been one of the keys to the goal being scored here. His initial corner kick, beautiful curl on it, not dealt with well by Maximilian Braune. Denise's effort, and then helped on target by Sigurd Haugen. He is a fox in the box, isn't he? The tall Norwegian forward gets his 4th of the season. And what a moment it is, and what an occasion it is. The first game of Marcus Kauzinski's tenure. Interesting, because MSV Duisburg, all this started with a corner kick taken by Christian Viet that was not dealt with well at all. They conceded a free kick in a dangerous area, and the ensuing corner resulted in a goal. Really goes to show that Dritte Liga football is unpredictable. Joshua Bitter's in the box. He equalizes! Scenes at the Grunwalder in front of his traveling supporters. Joshua Bitter! A laser shot, but how was he left alone? Those supporters won't mind. And you have to say there's no more disappointing moments than that. It's conventional knowledge in football that you're never more vulnerable than after you score a goal. And Simila, he did so well to dribble his defender. The pass was perfect, and the shot was too. Into the top corner, a rifled shot from Joshua Bitter. His first goal of the season. The loyal MSV Duisburg player who stuck with the team through their relegation in 2023-2024. Wow, what scenes from the 40th minute on. It's been absolute madness. But from a neutral point of view, how can you not love it? But it's 1860 Munich who have to be kicking themselves, really. They scored against one of the toughest defenses of the league, went 1-0 up at home, and they now have to start from square one once again. Dietmar Hirsch's MSV Duisburg, he must be proud of that reaction. Not easy to go down in front of this boiling atmosphere and to score in front of their traveling away fans immediately after conceding the opener. Braun. Well, if the opening 40 minutes lacked a little bit of excitement, the last 3 or 4 made up for it tenfold. Exceptional goals scored. Bitter's effort. Thomas Dana, the goalkeeper of 1860 Munich, nothing he could do there. Completely beaten. But how was he left alone in so much space? That's something to be analyzed by Marcus Kaczynski, as well as assistants Marcus Brzezinska and Niko Mazecki in the coming days. As the clock ticks towards the end of regulation time, we'll surely see a little bit of added time. There were some stoppages. Simala. Just 2 minutes. Trosku. Right-footed pass to Fleckstein. Go back to Braune. Duisburg's defensive line not pressed. Hahn can pick out his pass. Oh, it's miscontrolled by Simala. Not everything was pulled off perfectly by the number 23 of MSV Duisburg, but thanks to his poise and quick feet, he was able to find his fullback Joshua Bitter and massive pocket of space for the equalizer. Very clever play from Jansen Simala. He's intercepted that throw into Simala. But a better intercept, well, even more decisive intervention from Littman. Jakobsen brought down, clipped at the heels. And if they take their time with this free kick, they would have had the last chance for sure, but if they decide to play quickly, a little over 30 seconds of added time left to be played. Long ball, but from the Lions, collected by Maximilian Braune in his own box. Must have been just 30 seconds at 1860 Munich were leading against their opponents here at the Grünwalder Stadion. Now back to sharing of the points. And referee Wilke blows his whistle for the halftime. It was a cagey affair at the Grünwalder Stadion. The supporters made it very passionate, of course. Boiling atmosphere here at 1860 Munich's home stadium. The opening goal came courtesy of Sigurd Haugen after a set piece, but unfortunately for Markus Kauzinski in his first match in charge, his side conceded a goal less than a minute later, courtesy of Joshua Bitter, who rifled the ball past Thomas Dana. It's 1-1 here on match day 11 in the Sunday late afternoon encounter. We'll be back in the second half after a 10-minute break. Welcome back to the Dritte Liga second half. And we are back for another half of Dritte Liga action. If you missed out on the opening 45 minutes, well, the opening 40, it was mostly the supporters in the Grünwalder Stadion that put on the show. It was a cagey affair, some big fouls, including one by Tunay Deniz for 1860 Munich, which picked up a yellow card on Patrick Susek, and Patrick Susek as well committing a foul later on in the match, which inadvertently resulted in a goal being scored by Sigurd Haugen at around the 41st minute of play. And they couldn't even have time to really settle into their celebrations under their new manager, Markus Kauzinski, because Joshua Bitter ran up the pitch and Jan was served on a silver platter by Jan Simon Simala, whose trickery and pass between the legs of Simon Wirth found him completely alone. He rifled the ball past Thomas Dana and equalized. So Zebras won, Lions won after 45 minutes of play. It was really the last 5 minutes that were the most entertaining of this spectacle on the pitch, but the supporters off the pitch really did an amazing job in keeping this a spectacle. Referee Martin Wilke waiting for his whistle for the second half to commence, but it seems that there is a little bit of an issue with the netting on Thomas Dana's goal, which is delaying kickoff, trying to fix it himself as the camera work is doing a great job, but with his gloves not exactly evident. But nothing a piece of tape can't fix. It's the medical tape. So now, with the tape, seems as if the problem in the net is fixed. And 1860 Munich's goal behind Thomas Dana is up to standard, and we could play and resume on this matchday 11 encounter between two sides that are historically so rich. Initial founding members of the Bundesliga, they find themselves in the Dritte Liga now. Before the season started, 1860 Munich were tipped to be favorites for promotion, but they're playing against a side that are currently one of the side that have taken that momentum going into matchday 11. It's Duisburg, unbeaten after 11 matches so far, and just when they were down 1-0 at the halftime, well, before the halftime, they equalized thanks to Joshua Bitter. They've switched sides from MSV Duisburg, wearing their black kits, attacking from right to left on your screen, while the 1860 Munich Lions, attacking from left to right. So, at the halftime, Markus Kauzinski made a change. Jesse Tumbenyo makes way. MSV Duisburg. Jesse Tumbenyo makes way for Stefan Moyer. So Dietmar Hirsch made a change. Jesse Tumbenyo didn't have the biggest of influences. Stefan Moyer, who started as an attacking midfielder this season, has consistently gone back into deeper roles. We'll see how he'll be expressing his talents. He has 45 minutes to do so. As for 1860 Munich, they didn't come out all guns a-blazing. From their formation, you could see that they have 3 center backs on the pitch, and Sean Dulich, Simon Voigt, and Raphael Schiffer. Nice to see width being taken, and Lippmann perhaps was given instructions to go forward on the ball a little bit more. We didn't see much of that from the 19-year-old in the first half. He has the pace, the Munich-born fullback, who's been dispatched on both the left and the right wing throughout this season. And as Lippmann gained his maturity, his 41 games played at the under-19 level. Here the supporters involved the Stadion. Both sets are so expressive, so passionate on this matchday 11 encounter. It is a spectacle. Forgot to mention that 1860 Munich, despite losing 4 of their last 5, have some of the most passionate supporters in Dritte Liga. They stick by them thick and thin. This wonderful atmosphere, this electric atmosphere, which, in my opinion, boosted the side as they were able to reverse a very poor situation against Havelse earlier on this season. It seems like Tunay Deniz was trying to win several yards with a throw-in there, almost approaching to the half line. Almost flagrant attempt, which was caught out. As a reminder, Tunay Deniz is on a yellow card. The only player for 1860 Munich who was booked by referee Martin Wilke in the first half. The second player booked was Patrick Susek, the only one for MSV Duisburg. Clearance which found the header of Chan Choskun. It was uncontested. There, however, Schiffer was contested by Thilo Topkin there. And the opening 4 minutes so far, we've yet to see a chance being created. Hopefully, we don't see much of the same of that first half, where we saw 2 sides that were not exactly exposing themselves to too much danger. Showed perhaps a little bit of apprehension to expose themselves. But Sean Dulich is high up on the pitch, which is encouraging. He's a player that is from the academy, plays with so much passion that you see from the supporters. Captain of TSV 1860 Munich in their under-19 Bundesliga season a couple of years ago. Played against the highest teams. Watchful eye of Marcus Kauczynski. Rittmuller recovers. He drives into space, gets it back, and manages to keep ball in play. And after a bit of a pinball session, it's Tunay Deniz who attempts to spread the ball to the opposite end. Joshua Bitter wins his duel. Dana far off his line to clean up the mess. Niederlechner fakes that he was going to go forward, and in the last second cuts a pass back, showcasing his experience. Haugen, hold-up play is brilliant. The cross is good! Oh, and then a 50-50 challenge, and Niederlechner, who was the victim of one in the first half, has a serious injury. Oh no! That does not look good for Florian Niederlechner. Oh my, this may be a serious injury for the 34-year-old. He committed everything he had in that cross. The academy graduate who returned in the summer to help his side may be out for a long stretch of time. He got on the wrong end of the cleats of Maximilian Braune. Very dangerous play. based on his facial expression, it doesn't seem like it's as grave as I thought. And there won't be a penalty, it'll just go out for a goal kick. Well, initially I was a little bit concerned, but Florian Niederlechner really is a tough cookie. He's on the wrong end of a challenge earlier on the first half with Rasim Bulic, and now with goalkeeper Maximilian Braune. Well, he's receiving extensive medical care, and that may be a little bit of some tape to continue on. What a soldier he is, Florian Niederlechner. He was at the start of the play, and then was almost at the conclusion. And all this time given to Niederlechner's recovery will surely be accounted for and added at the end of the match. Dritte Liga second halves tend to go quite long in terms of added time. Back on his feet and walking. We'll have to see how he progresses. Of course, there's the adrenaline of playing a high-level match. Once that resettles, he may feel that one in the morning with a lot differently than he's feeling it now. Play resumes finally. Niederlechner returns to the pitch. Well, that was perhaps it was an exciting moment, offensively speaking. Niederlechner combining well with Sigurd Haugen. Good hold-up play. The cross was interesting, but Braune did just enough to throw Niederlechner off guard there, and fortunately didn't injure him, at least in the long term. Zebras traveling supporters, turn up your sets and listen to that. Just seems like the 1860 Munich home supporters have taken the back seat just for now. On your TV screens, their supporters are on the left. MSV Duisburg's are behind their own goal on the right. Voet. The pass is difficult, but Littmann gets on his legs. Great burst of pace from Clemens Littmann. And a brilliant tackle from Christian Viet. Oh, he's going to try to get on the end of that, and Sean Dulic, no-nonsense clearance. Didn't take any risks. As a small refresher of your memories, it was MSV Duisburg who won a corner. They played it poorly, and then on the ensuing counterattack, 1860 Munich went all guns ablaze. Sigurd Haugen was about to be one-on-one with the keeper, but was brought down by Susek, and the following corner resulted in a goal. So they have to be careful on this corner. Susek. It's swooped up, and another poorly taken set piece from the corner by Duisburg. There's been a few of those, 3, at least in my memory, that have not been executed and have not even resulted in an effort. Something to work on for Dietmar Hirsch. Good turn by Stefan Moyer, the substitute who just came on. He does have that calmness on the ball. Denise, one-touch layoff, but Sigurd Haugen onto Volland's left foot. Littmann's gone into the higher positions. I anticipated a bit of a miscommunication. They made a mess of it, Littmann and Volland. He wasn't expecting to be served inside of the box. The 15 times capped German international, Kevin Volland. Interesting layoff again by Sigurd Haugen to he started the second half quite well. Not only is he a physical problem to deal with for defenses, but his one-touch and two-touch play is absolutely brilliant and of the highest order. He too was a great signing for 1860 Munich, the former NAC Breda player from Norway. MSV Duisburg now hovering around their enemy box. Goal scorer Bitter was being searched for, but his run was never going to get on the end of that pass. Even though they were on the same wavelength, the dosing was all wrong. High pressing from the Zebras of Duisburg, trying to win the ball back deep in the Lions' half. With a little bit of a pinball and some fortune, they win the ball back and Niederlechner goes down again. He's having a rough day at the office, Florian Niederlechner. Gets back onto his feet. They're continuing on that high press. And they want to throw in. Now they're facing the Duisburg faithful supporters. From a psychological standpoint, depending on how you see it, some players are more motivated to score in front of the opponent's fans. Some prefer to score in front of their own. Riedmuller's, he tried the scissor kick, but ended up going closer to the corner flag than it did the goal. Or was it Sigurd Haugen? Excuse me. He'll be regretting that one. As I said just a few minutes earlier, Sigurd Haugen really is an expert in those one-touch, two-touch finishes inside of the box. It's where he thrives. Should have done better there. Good touch from Niederlechner. Doesn't win a free kick. Oh, he does. The whistle came late from Mr. Wilke. And now hobbling back onto his feet is Niederlechner. He's gone to ground so many times. Perhaps a glance at the bench. But not signaling that he wants to come off. Dedication at its highest form, especially when 3 points are so needed for 1860 Munich Lions. Haugen keeps it in play. Similar cross that we saw earlier on from Haugen. The layoff header, the shot. Oh, it's a scramble. Complete chaos in Duisburg's box, but they escape unharmed, at least from that moment. And the clearance offers them a temporary respite. Well, that time we saw a set piece well taken again. Set pieces have been a bit of the story for unlocking situations for 1860 Munich in this match. Their first goal came through a corner. That chance, although not a shot on target, but clearly caused a bit of trouble. Simala's cross doesn't cause any trouble for Thomas Dana. Oh, listen to the supporters at the home end. Beating to the drum, pushing for their Lions to get that all-important second goal, which may not be the one to win the match, knowing that MSV Duisburg are a high-scoring side, but what's expected when you're a supporter of 1860 Munich, especially in the Dritte Liga, especially this season with the investments that were made, is that every match should be winnable. They have some exceptional individualities. Speaking of exceptional individualities, we're seeing one coming on for MSV Duisburg, and it's going to be Connor Nosh, the Dusseldorf-born Irish youth international. He enters the pitch for Christian Vietu. Bit of a forgettable match for Christian Viet, the number 10. Connor Nosh is a player who's perhaps has a master's in scoring late. Scored it very late against Ulm in that victory. No, excuse me, BeReal. And also scored very late against Havelse in that 1-1 draw. He'd like to add to his goal scoring tally. That's what he's been introduced for. Oh, Topkin, good fake. You can see he had the target in sight. Loaded up a powerful shot, Thilo Topkin, and he has that in his arsenal. One of the top-rated players, the number 22, but hasn't been able to have too many bites of the apple, so to speak. And just introduced, Connor Nosh takes the in-swinging corner kick. It's better. It's better than what we've seen so far. Topkin keeps it alive. And we're entering a positive spell from the visitors. The Zebras of Duisburg are sniffing around the home goal. And they don't need too many chances to be decisive. Susek. It's bouncing around everywhere. Rittmuller ensures it doesn't go out for another corner kick. Finds a very good pass for Jakobsen. Niederlechner's pass is good too. And they transition from defense to offense quite well there. Sigurd Haugen attempted to be brought down by Moyer, but an advantage played on. Haugen gets onto his left foot. Has to release a shot. Was a little bit too patient and pedestrian about it. And Fleckstein drives forward. Counter-attacking situation. The pass for Simala, a little too far. On the ball now. Fleckstein is found. The layoff to Bitter, the goal scorer. Can he get a second? He doesn't. Madness. End-to-end stuff here in this Dritte Liga match. And just when the pace and the tempo of the game had started to slow down, all you need is some technical brilliance from both sides. Very simple save by Thomas Dana. And then the follow-up by Bitter, also blocked out of play. Sigurd Haugen, of course, is calling for a yellow card to be distributed. It was Stefan Moyer who stopped him in his stride, or attempted to stop him in his stride. Some referees are partisans of giving a yellow card after the play, but Vilka unable to be influenced by these calls. And rightfully so. Referee should have his own convictions. Outswinging corner kick now on the follow-up. Simala sends the ball all the way to Rosie. Uncontrolled volley from the winger who's proficient on that right side, but made a mess of that. Denise, thanks to a layoff, sends in a searching ball. It's a curled cross. Duisburg under pressure now in their own half. Shoskun, the Turkish fullback, who we haven't seen too much on the offensive this match. Several clearances in a row, which lead to Duisburg successfully winning a throw-in deep in enemy territory. Well, the last few minutes, the spectacle on the pitch has started to match the spectacle in the stands. Çoskun. The cross was not worked well enough. And after 67 minutes, we've not seen any substitutions made by Marcus Kaczynski yet, interestingly. A manager that trusts his starting 11. Even though he may have some options on his bench to look towards. Players such as David Filip, who have scored twice this season. Patrick Hopsch needs no introduction. But that's yet to be seen. Marcus Kaczynski also, when he took office, introduced René Volaf into his coaching staff, so he'll no longer be playing, although he was in the starting 11 match day 10. Great atmosphere at the Grünwalder Stadion. Even during this spell where the tempo has gone down, you can always count on the supporters of 1860 Munich as well as Duisburg to keep you focused and concentrated, and never bet against them, to support their team for a whole match. Hahn spreads it out wide to Çoskun, who's given himself some liberties attacking. Susek cutting into the middle of the pitch, wins a free kick, and an opportunity for Can Çoskun. He's very familiar with taking free kicks in these positions. And from these set pieces, they've been dangerous throughout the season. MSV Duisburg. Tobias Fleckstein is a target for sure to look out for, as is Alexander Hahn. Connor Nosh. Oh, it doesn't have enough air to it, but he'll get a second chance. Instead of sending another ball into the mix, plays it back. Maximilian Braune, a lot of serenity on the ball, I have to say, for the 22-year-old goalkeeper. He's really coming finding himself this season. The substitute, Moyer. Simala, it's Susek, excuse me. I was about to say Simala and Susek had switched sides, but none. It's Simala who's tasked with creating on that right side alongside Joshua Bitter, but they've lost the ball there. Bitter a little bit late, but makes up for it. Sigurd Haugen, what he does have in strength, in excellent touch, does lack a little bit in pace. Joshua Bitter is a very pacey player. On the run again, the fullback. Slow approach play, but Çoskun has space. It's closed down quickly before you knew it by Sean Dulic. Seemed a little bit out of position, but seems like it's as if Sean Dulic is playing more in a midfield role in the defensive sequences. Niederlechner, the pass, it's floated. Fleckstein expertly controls it down. Ends any hope of an 1860 Munich attack there. Nosh, his pass. It just seems like MSV Duisburg are gaining momentum. They're approaching closer, they're getting closer and closer to the net. home side need perhaps a jolt of energy. Starting to look a little bit fatigued. The home side. Weathering storm after storm. Connor Nosh introduces. Not made life much easier. He's also very good at taking the set pieces. Here's his corner. Defended well by Schifferle. Moyer, poor volley. And then foul conceded and won by Thor Jakobsen. And finally, we will see 2 substitutions. Just what the doctor ordered, so to speak. Niederlechner coming off. Surely for Patrick Hopsch. And Max Christensen will also be introduced into the match for Tunay Deniz. Tunay Deniz in the first half was much more influential than he was in the second. And Max Christensen will make his 10th appearance. Patrick Hopsch getting his 11th of the season. Players that are more experienced and seasoned. Christensen, 28 years of age. Scored his first goal of the season on match day 9. That 2-2 draw against Victoria Cologne. For Patrick Hopsch, an emblematic goal scorer. Last season was their highest. Was up. Struggling for playing time, but if he's able to pull out a good performance, he could convince Marcus Kauzinski to be reintegrated into that starting lineup 11 on a consistent basis. Simala gets away from 2 players there. He does have that little special something. Oh, but it's a poor pass from Koskun. Thankfully, Stefan Moyer sweeps in like a firefighter in distress. '74th minute of play. Not too many chances in the last 10 minutes. Supporters have been tasked with creating all the entertainment. They do so. Turn up your sets, you hear them. Oh, it's punched away by Thomas Dana. Stefan Moyer chests it, does beautifully well. A former attacking midfielder who's now really finding his stride in that 6th position as well. Stefan Moyer. Last season he scored 8 goals and 3 assists in the Regionalliga. This year he's not scored any, but really assumes his new role as a bit of an engine who's able to also showcase his technique and silky touch. Hahn. Perfectly weighted left foot pass to Bitter. The cross, it's driven. Schifferle was on the case. Foul by Patrick Hopsch. His first initiation in this match. Alexander Hahn allowed to dribble calmly into the middle of the pitch. Goes to show that the pace has really dropped in this matchday 11 encounter. From a physical standpoint, MSV Duisburg aren't exactly at their highest. They had to play a midweek game during the international break. They're surely feeling the effects of that. While 1860 Munich, although didn't have any matches to do, surely had an intensive week of training with their new coach, Marcus Kauzinski. Kevin Vollen goes to ground, holding onto his face. Did he receive an elbow in his header. No, it was a hand of Chan Chkoskun. But he'll be able to resume playing. Or not. He'll be substituted off for David Philipp. So that's the end of both Kevin Volland. Now both of the players for Niederlechner and Kevin Volland came from the Bundesliga to the Dritte Liga this summer, are now off in 1860 Munich. We'll look to find solutions without them. It's well one back. Sigurd Haugen gets on his wheels. Oh, Haugen, can he find the goal? He does! Magnificent from Sigurd Haugen! 2 goals in this match. And just when the pace slowed down, Sigurd Haugen turned on the jets. Jubilation, eruption of joy at the Grünwalder Stadion. It's 2 goals for the number 22. And really, he did it all on his own. Hops played him well in, beats Fleckstein in the foot race, gets the favorable bounce, and Maximilian Braune completely off his line. He takes so many risks, Braune. This one didn't pay off, and Sigurd Haugen deliberates the stadium. Not the cleanest of knee slides, but it's a clean finish. And the league leaders are now facing their first defeat of the season. Their first league defeat in 8 months. Well, what a moment that is. Just when Marcus Kauzinski had introduced David Philipp onto the pitch, his side scored. And it's one of his substitutes, Patrick Hobbs, who's on the assist, but they have to be careful. Last time they opened the scoring, they conceded immediately in the aftermath. They'd have to have very, very short-term memory loss if they were to forget to defend properly after scoring this second goal. And maybe a goal is what MSV Duisburg needed to wake up. They seem to be a little bit too pedestrian, too casual going forward. Now they'll be forced to find a break in the armor of this 1860 Munich defense, which, with their 3 center backs, Dulic, Scheffel, and Simon Voet, have been unperturbed for a lot of the second half. Let's see how the Zebras respond. Simala, he's closed down quickly. One-touch passing from the Lions of Munich. It only goes so far into the halfway line until it's recovered by Duisburg. Alexander Hahn, the captain. Alexander Hahn, wearing the number 42, leads by example. Hopefully his players can, well, hopefully for Duisburg fans, his players can perhaps break the defense again. Patrick Susek has been a little bit too quiet in the second half. Well, throughout the whole match, really. Has 9 goal contributions this season. Today has none, and hasn't really threatened. Here he is now, though, Susek, and he's won a corner kick. That's already something. Oh, look at the replay. It's Fleckstein's tackle. Doesn't master it well enough. That was Dietmar Hirsch unhappy with that. Surely believed there was a foul by Sigurd Haugen, but just physical play. Oh, good spread back to Connor Nosh. Good fake of the upper body by Susek. These are interesting individual plays that we're seeing. Choskun, can he find quality on the cross? It was a well-worked ball in, but they were up to the task, the Lions of 1860 Munich. Another ball sent in. Foul. And that whistle is music to the ears of the 1860 Munich supporters. It's Fleckstein the culprit. Duisburg have about 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more due to all the stoppages. Main one, the injury of Niederlechner. Susek goes for goal! And he's woken up. The shot is right in the middle. Autonomous down his goal. Dangerous pass played in by Clemens Littmann. Or was it Simon Voigt, excuse me. Duisburg player goes to ground, but Martin Wilke signals for him to get back onto his feet. Patrick Hopsch wins a throw in. Displaying all his experience. Winning seconds, shutting them off from the clock. What can Dietmar Hirsch cook up with his staff? His side are experts in scoring late in the match. Haugen makes a mess of that cross on the right wing. And now the ball is returned to Maximilian Braune. But he's done more than enough today, Sigurd Haugen. Excellent individual performance from the Norwegian striker. Last season at Hansa Rostock. Now in his second Dritte Liga season. He's at the historic and emblematic club of 1860 Munich and truly finding his stride. So they've broken the first line of pressing from 1860 Munich, Duisburg, but Simala loses his duel against Clemens Littmann. It's been an interesting duel to watch this afternoon. Littmann against Simala. Simala got the best of the young fullback on the equalizer, but since then it's been a lot better. Now Munich, 1860 Munich going forward. It's cut out and the play is thwarted by Joshua Bitter. Not playing with an excessive sense of urgency, the league leaders. They're staring their first defeat of the season, first defeat in over 20 matches, straight in the eyes against a galvanized 1860 Munich team with a new manager and boiling hot supporters at this Grunwalder Stadion. Seems like 1860 Munich just performed well against Duisburg. And there's 60 encounters overall throughout the course of history. The Lions won 30, the Zebras won 16, and the last time these two sides met at this very venue, it ended on a 4-1 victory. 1960. Munich, so we can... Of course, the match is not over yet, but... Joshua Bitter may have won a corner kick. He has. But over history, 1860 Munich have enjoyed success against MSV Duisburg, that's for sure. And will they add and write a new page of positive history? And a first win in their first game for Marcus Kauzinski would be welcome. Another double substitution. And we're going to be seeing Florian Kruger introduced. For the visitors. For the home side. Number 7. Well, no, it's actually Mala, who comes off for Andy Visser. Florian Kruger. Mirko Khan. Sigurd Haugen trying to get the best of the substitute Mirko Khan, but he does well enough. The Turkish fullback. Welcome to the Drita Liga Matchday 11 match. Mirko Khan. Sigurd Haugen chasing. Long ball in. Helped onto Rasim Bulic. Good touch. And that was textbook MSV Duisburg. Catching you off guard with one-touch passing, vertical passing. Didn't work there, but almost panned out. From the corner kick, that was a substitute for the number 30 for Duisburg, who almost got the equalizer. Thomas Dana had to be quick on his reactions. Andy Visser. Moya finds Bitter. Bitter affording himself some time and space to go forward with the ball. Looks for Andy Visser. Good hold-up play from the 21-year-old forward. All 11 of 1860 Munich's players well into their own half. Bitter surrounded by 3 Munich players, 1860 Munich players. If he could get a cross in. Stopped. Throwing his plate quick. Here's Nosh. Driven cross. In search of either Kruger or Topkin. Gökhan's volley is blocked. The order of the moment for 1860 Munich is to put bodies in front of the ball, to cut the delivery, to cut the shot from distance. And if they studied their opponent like they surely have, they know that Duisburg are dangerous until the final seconds. And we're seeing another substitute being prepared for 1860 Munich. It's Max Rheintaler. A very physical center back will come to add some density to that back line. Referee Martin Wilke addressing to his 4th referee as an assistant that it's time for Max Rheintaler to come on, and it's Sigurd Haugen coming off. 2-time goal scorer receiving an ovation from the Grunwalder Stadion. So now 1860 Munich have 4 center backs on the pitch in Sean Dulic, Simon Voigt, Raphael Schifele, and now Max Rheintaler joins the brigade. Very few players to go forward in this attack. 2 players to look for in the box, but crowded around by Duisburg. It's poor, but Rittmuller believed until the very end, and we have now crossed the 90-minute mark. So regulation time is over. Mert Gökhan, fullback who has no goal assist contributions just yet this season. Surely it'll come. And now we have gotten the official confirmation. It's 5 minutes of added time. And what does this mean in the table? This result, if it were to stand, MSV Duisburg would maintain their leadership position in the table, but just with 1 point. While 1860 Munich, maybe it's premature to say so, but pick up an important 3 and maybe get their promotion push started here on match day 11. They climb from 15th to 12th place and separate themselves from the relegation zone by at least 5 points. David Philipp conducting the play. Very cool and composed on the ball, especially at this stage of the match. Schifele is brought down. off the ball. And that's a silly foul from Thilo Tapken. Maybe a sign of frustration from the forward, who started the season as a super sub, got the start today, and wasn't able to have the same impact that he's had throughout this year's campaign. He goes into the booking. Spit. I say silly foul because he's caused for a minute to be drained from these added time, and for the ball to be cleared away. He's lost possession there again. Topkin succumbing to the pressure of Schifferl, who's had a brilliant match in my opinion. David Philipp in the box. Was searching for a corner kick. The way that he was dribbling inside of the area, maybe could have even hoped for a better penalty, but wasn't brought down. It was intelligent defending from Fleckstein. But they have to send in everything forward, throw in the kitchen sink, as they say, because MSV Duisburg are 2 minutes away from being handed their first defeat of the 2025-2026 campaign. Their undefeated run since January 31st of 2025 could come to an end against a team that was in 15th place, but as you can see, our dangerous opponent, especially boosted by their home supporters. 1860 Munich can pick up their third home win of the season, their third of 4 wins overall. And the counter-attacking opportunity. David Philipp, can he play the clever ball? It's timed well. He is an offside. Thor Jakobsen, one-on-one. Can he finish? He does! It's over. 1860 Munich have signed and sealed the victory. An express counterattack finished brilliantly by Thor Jakobsen. The composure of the pass by David Philipp. And the Grunwalder Stadion supporters get everything they wanted for, they hoped for, and more. 3 goals to the good at home. He beats the offside trap, no doubt about it. And Thor Jakobsen finished with the left-footed effort. Does it even go between the legs? Not sure, doesn't matter, because it goes into the back of the net, and Jakobsen delivers the goods. His first goal of the season, and what a time it comes to put an exclamation point on this shock victory against Duisburg, who are now looking at a little bit of a results crisis themselves. MSV Duisburg will now have not won in their last 3 games, and they'll return home to take on Rot-Weiss Essen, who are in good form. 1860 Munich will have to build on this victory away to Waldorf Mannheim next Saturday for matchday 12. I'll speak less, turn on your volumes, listen to the supporters. Returns possession to 1860 Munich, and it's a matter of seconds before the final whistle is blown by Martin Wilke. We have passed the 5-minute mark. Marvin Rittmuller plays along the byline, and that's it. The final whistle, and a symphony of cheers around the Grunwalder Stadion. It ends 3-1 in favor for the home side, and Markus Kauzinski in his first match in charge gets 3 points, in doing so against the league leaders MSV Duisburg, handing them their first defeat since January of this year. For Dietmar Hirsch's men, many questions to be asked given that they have now not won in their last 3, and Energy Cottbus are chasing them in their promotion push. It was Sigurd Haugen, the hero, who scored twice, and the victory was punctuated by a counter-attacking goal in added time by Thor Jakobsen. An excellent and thrilling end to both halves in this matchday 11 encounter. Also have to note, both sets of supporters of the Grunwalder Stadion played their part, making for this a memorable encounter. Matchday 11 continues with one last match today, and then find 1860 Munich, who will travel to Waldorf Mannheim for matchday 12. While MSV Duisburg will go back home against Rot-Weiss Essen next week. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again for more Dritte Liga football.